No name given. Were you in Memphis at the time when Adam West turned up as Batman to cut a promo with Jerry Lawler? I don't want to make untoward suggestions, but Mr. West seemed like he'd been at the bar beforehand. Also, how did West end up so drunk for a morning wrestling show? So, why don't we watch it together?
Okay, for background, I was there. I did meet Adam West that day under the mask, but I did meet him.
Here we go, 1 second. See, you're already laughing. It's been up like 10 seconds. You're already amused. Here we go. Well, he's got the cowl on and his gloves, and I think the tracksuit he drove to the TV studio in. So here we go.
You're going to be in town all this weekend, is that correct?
Yes, I am, and thank you very much. I must apologize. I didn't have a ticket. Kids, don't do as I just did. I sneaked in because I'm on a case. And I'm working undercover. That's why I'm not wearing my complete outfit. Right. I wanted to be inconspicuous. I didn't want anyone to recognize me. But there is a rumor that Mr. Freeze and Penguin are here in Memphis because of the radical change in the weather, and that they have a hookup with the evil king of Memphis, who just might be wrestling here this morning.
Wait a minute.
So did he make that outfit
Do you
himself?
know who this is? Is that who I think it is?
Yes, it is. What is this?
Well, what does it look like? Tell me, what does it look like? I heard he was going to be here today, so I dressed appropriately. That's what it is, the Super King. What else?
Okay, you say maybe you're going to be able to give us some help
Super King,
with this
like a
guy
size
here.
of
You're on the
mattress.
case, and I think we're going to need all the help we can get with the king.
Well, now, I've heard he's had his troubles with the Joker and the Penguin and Mr. Freeze, but he hadn't handled the King yet. And I got somebody in a box that I'm going to bring out here in just a few minutes that'll make a Joker look like Mickey Mouse, I can tell you that.
I've heard about your box. But I want to say that costume that you're wearing, if you are indeed the evil king of Memphis, has been stolen from a friend of mine, Soup. Superman. I call him Soup.
Right.
And I think that Spider-Man, Spidey Baby, would probably object too. By the way, looking at you, I don't think it's too late for you. I think that possibly, if you changed some of your habits, some of your methods of wrestling, if you used your left and right turn indicator in your car, did other things that people normally do when they're polite and courteous, and you weren't such a naughty, mean person, it wouldn't be too late for you.
And I can see that you're not familiar with these rednecks that we have around here.
Rednecks?
That's exactly right. That's right.
I tell you what, gentlemen,
They
I
look
think
like
splendid people to me, and they're Bat fans. I know they are. And I think it's insulting to call them rednecks.
I think maybe we better settle this elsewhere. And again, both of
I
you are
got to
going to
get
be at
Dr.
the
Frank in here anyway.
both of you are going to be down at the Cook Convention Center at the car show all this weekend, and maybe you can settle it there. Badman, appreciate you coming by, and
Thank you very
we
much.
hope you can
He's
get
not
us
a nice
with a
man,
king
is
here.
he?
No, he is not. He has some nasty habits, as you say, and maybe he'll change some of
Yes,
them.
I feel that it's possible that we could help rehabilitate him, possibly in Gotham State Prison.
There we go. That was actually a lot better than I've never seen that all the way through.
Yeah, he was a little hammered. The reason he was hammered was because he probably stayed up all night. He got to Memphis. The bars are open back then all night long. They didn't have any blue laws there. And they would open to 6 o'clock in the morning. Then they'd run everybody off that hadn't already left. And they would open back up about 12. And then they start another day. So he probably spent the whole night in a bar and came out. And I guarantee you that interview they just did, they just went over it probably 5 minutes before they went out there. So, and it was an interesting interview. So I remember one time, I think he had him there twice. The second time, I may get this wrong. they had the car there. Maybe they didn't have the car there, but I do remember he wasn't at the matches. That was for an appearance that afternoon at some big deal that Lawler had set up, and no telling what, back in those days, no telling what they paid Batman to appear at that thing. But it was a lot of money for the time, and they probably did a hell of a job promoting him, especially on Memphis wrestling. So, and Lawler wearing that Superman outfit is, I'll say one thing, you can watch that interview and not be bored by watching it, because it went about 3 minutes and you're wondering what they're going to do. They didn't do anything, but the thought was, well, they're going to do something here because it's on a wrestling show. So, but it had a hell of an audience. At one time, Memphis Wrestling had a 70 or 70% share of the audience. And that means all, or maybe an 80%. And they recognize that, or they say, well, of all the TVs on at 11 o'clock in the morning, 80% of them were tuned to Channel 5 watching wrestling.
Seeing if Adam West was going to tip over or not.
Hey, Adam West was bigger than what I thought he was.
Yeah.
He was probably about 6 foot.
I'm sorry, it's a Simpsons reference, but pure West. I have to just throw that out for the Simpsons fans out there. What did he say to you when you met him?
Just hello. I just met him. They brought him in the dressing room about, I don't know, probably 5 minutes before he went out. See, we dressed on the new set, and the other, it had a studio. That was, I guess they kept that set up for wrestling, but we dressed where the commentators would read from the desk. We would dress over on that side, had too big. It was one big studio. They could just section it off. And we weren't that far from the people, because they were just a curtain between us and the fans sitting out there. So, and I think Lawler and Batman had just come from another dressing room right around the corner. That's probably where they went over their little interview. But there wasn't a lot of preparation put in that, as you can tell. But it did what it was supposed to do. So Batman was on TV, and they advertised their appearance that afternoon.
I still love that. If he changed some of his evil and nasty ways, use his left and right turn indicators. That's a great line.
That's a great line. But I guarantee you, he didn't make that up on the spot. He probably used that in some Batman editions of the show, and he just remembered that.
All it was missing was... Sorry.
Yeah, he was all over the place. He was all over the place anyway. And I think Lawler was kind of he didn't know exactly where it's going to go. So let's just get out of it. And that's why he walked off.